The big story from last month, that accident down at the Ohio State Fair, when the company that makes the Fireball ride, the one in question, announced that it was excessive corrosion that caused the deadly accident. We wanted to know how state inspectors missed that and whether the mandatory annual inspection of the ride was done correctly. What we found raising a lot of troubling questions. Here's consumer investigator Danielle Serino.
Yeah, Chris, in addition to the inspection done by the Department of Agriculture, the manufacturer requires the Fireball to be tested once a year using what's called non-destructive testing. It's high-tech inspections of rides while they are disassembled. Well, there was one done back in October, but some would say it didn't go far enough. So is there someone to blame?
I was real surprised at how severe the corrosion was inside the structural member of the ride.
That's how Walter Reese described the confidential pictures he saw of the deadly Fireball ride that broke apart at the Ohio State Fair last month. Reese is a safety consultant who's been inspecting rides around the world for nearly 3 decades. He showed us photos of what a corroded ride looks like. As for the Fireball,
I've not seen that on many rides that are less than 20 years old unless they've been left outside for a long period of time or in some sort of a very wet or salty environment.
Contrary to previous reports, the Fireball only received one full inspection. It was just done over several days. But Reese acknowledges the corrosion described by the ride's manufacturer in this statement would have been hard to detect unless inspectors looked at the ride before it was assembled. Reese says the damage likely happened while the ride was lying idle and disassembled like these attractions during the winter months. So even when the ride is not in use, it is okay per the manufacturer to keep it outside. You can't tell me that. We spoke with Amusements of America, which owns the 18-year-old ride. They called that accusation silly, saying this ride is designed to be outdoors most of the year, and they did all the inspections required by the manufacturer. So you're saying that there were no safety alerts or bulletins issued that talked about corrosion and the need to do any kind of extensive testing? Not that you're aware of. Reese says even if the manufacturer didn't call for certain inspections, Amusements of America dropped the ball.
You need to look for this sort of a condition on every ride, all the time, every year when you've got it torn apart. That's what a tear-down inspection is for.
We also contacted the firm that did that high-tech non-destructive testing back in November. They referred us to their attorney who wouldn't comment until all of their records have been reviewed. Meantime, Reese says he expects this incident to change the way the state tests rides to include checks for internal corrosion.
Good or bad, this is going to be a conversation for almost any family who goes to any fair in Ohio this summer. You've dug into a lot of this. What advice would you have for any family who's going? I mean, what do you say to your friend? What do you say to your neighbor?
What everybody I've spoken to says is if the ride doesn't look right, if the operator doesn't look like he has it under control, just go away if you had a bad feeling about it, because there is no way to see.
Right.
I mean, especially in a situation like this, there is no visual that you can check. And make sure you're with the right height requirements, weight requirements. It's the best you can do. These don't happen that often.
It's just past the smell test, really, when you're there.
And it's so rare. I mean, it's just incidents like this bring it to everyone's attention.
Okay, Danielle, thank you.